What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video, and this is something that I have touched on before in the past, literally like 5 years ago. I was looking through some of my older videos today, and I came across one which I thought was an interesting topic, especially since I had this conversation with somebody last night too about heaven
and hell.
and I thought it was pretty interesting, like, considering watching my own. I forgot about it totally, like the video that I made 5 years ago, and I was just watching it and listening to my opinion on heaven and hell and if I believe it's real or not. And honestly, it hasn't changed. Like, I still feel the same way as I did back then. Fuck you. But I thought it would be an interesting topic since my channel's changed. A lot's happened. People have come, people have gone, and I thought it would be an interesting thing to bring up. And like, I also want to see your guys' opinions, so let me know in the comment section what your opinions on heaven and hell is. And I'm aware there's like so many different religions, but the funny thing is there's like most religions do believe in hell, and that's something that I've always considered to be keeping me in the right lane in life. I'm not perfect. I do things that are, I guess you could say, a sin, but I wouldn't say like I'm destined to go to hell because of it. Like, I'm not afraid of hell for that reason. However, I feel like if I were to murder somebody or rape a friggin' little child or something like that, that's a whole different story. I feel like I am technically a Christian. I was born into a Christian family. I believe there is a God to an extent. I'm definitely skeptical. I believe that could be the Virgo in me, that I'm skeptical. I don't really tend to believe things unless I see it. But I don't really believe every word of the Bible. I'm actually a Catholic. I'm born a Catholic Christian. But I don't really believe every word of the Bible. I even said this in my previous video. But my thoughts on the heaven and hell theory is that I don't really know. Do I believe in God is the first thing we need to talk about. I don't really know if I believe in a actual being in the sky who, you know, is kind of watching over us all and seeing how we do this whole free will thing. And if you do bad stuff, you're going to go to hell. If you do good stuff, you're going to go to heaven and fly around with angel wings and a little halo over your head, flying with a little harp in the clouds for eternity. And that is your reward for being good in this life. And if you're bad, then down to the hellfire you go. I wouldn't say I believe that, honestly. And the same with most of the Bible. I don't really believe in a lot of the stories in there. And I've often said this, like, I don't believe in there was like God created Adam and Eve. He created the world in 6 days. He created Adam and Eve, and then they bred, and then they made children, and that's how we all came to be. We were a creation of God in that way. That's, I mean, there's scientific proof that we evolved from freaking like tadpoles, and then became like monkeys and whatever, and then we became humans. We evolved over time, and that's scientifically proven. So I don't believe like the Adam and Eve story, because that would be weird. Like, Adam and Eve, let's say God just created them, then they figured out how to get funky and, you know, have sex and whatever. Then they had a son and a daughter. Then they would have to have sex. Therefore, their kids would then have to have sex, which would be inbreeding. And then we would all be fucked up. So I don't believe that. And plus, there's so many different races around the world. You got like Chinese people who have different like eyes, and you got like black people who have a completely different, not just their skin color, but different features in general. We're not all from the same, you know, thing. I feel like we are all different. We're all human, of course, but we all have these different, like Chinese people have a baby and it will come out Chinese. You know, a black person and another black person has a baby, it will come out black. It's nothing to do with like the sun and all of that stuff. Like some people, I remember they used to say, like, the people who are black were born in hot countries, people who were white were born in like cold countries. But what about like Chinese? Why do they have totally different features than black or white? You know, it's, again, I think it's just of evolution. And so I don't believe in that. And of course there's stories about, like, I'm not sure who it was, one of the archangels fought with the dragon. I don't think dragons exist. I don't know for sure, but I don't think they ever existed. I think it's like a mythical creature, like a unicorn. And the same with, like, you know, who was it, Moses or Judas or somebody, like, separated the ocean so the refugees could cross. Nobody can separate water. And like Jesus walking on water, all of that stuff, even stuff that's not in the Bible, but it's part of like religion, like one of the religious stories, which I actually do like the story, and I enjoyed the story as a kid. Noah's Ark. Like, I find it hard to believe that this man built an ark and then all the animals went in 2 by 2 onto the ark, like lions, kangaroos, even the bees. In the song it says like The B is the animals went in 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah, the animals. I can't remember all of them, but there was like, it said the bees, the ants. Can you imagine? I mean, animals just don't have that. You know, if there was like a flood or a forest fire, for example, which happens a lot, why don't we see animals, you know, seeking refuge going in 2 by 2 these days with forest fires and stuff like that? So again, that's another thing I don't really believe. But onto the topic of like the main point of this video, heaven and hell. I'm scared to go to hell, so I feel like that does kind of live inside my head. I don't want to do anything bad. Not that I would anyway, even if hell didn't exist. I wouldn't like go and kill somebody or fucking like rape somebody. Just because that's fucked up. Like, I'm just not a messed up person enough to do that stuff. I mean, I guess I could have the potential to kill somebody like who I really, really fucking hated and didn't think deserved to live. For example, like a pedophile. If I saw a pedophile like touching a child, of course I'm gonna fucking kill him. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I feel like I have the capability of killing somebody. And in that regard, let's say I killed a pedophile who was in the midst of touching a little child. Do I believe then, would I panic and be like, fuck, I just killed him, now I'm gonna go to hell? No, I feel like that would be forgiven by God because I've just killed evil. Like, I believe on this earth, there is demons among us. There is evil among us. And some of those are disguised as people. Then you got people who are like really fucked up and serial killers and pedophiles, and those sort of people are just evil. And I think if you were to kill one of them, you're ridding the world of that evil. So I feel like that's a forgivable offense. Too bad it's not in the eyes of the law. But, you know, in the eyes of God, I think you could do that and he would forgive you for banishing that evil from the earth and protecting probably a lot more children from that monster. Wow, this video could go on a lot longer than I expected. But hell is something that I do kind of think about. I'm not worried about going there, but I definitely, if I were to like kill somebody, I would definitely be scared about going to hell. Even more so than going to prison for my life. Like, I think it would be hell that would worry me the most. Even though, again, I don't know for sure if it's there or not. Some people believe that they died and went there. The same with heaven. Some people believe they died, seen heaven, and then came back to tell the tale. And I don't know. Some of these people are really convincing too. Like, you see like these hardcore rock and roll, sex, drugs, and like all of this stuff. Worshipping Satan. Like, I seen this one guy who was like a rock star. He worshipped the devil. He literally sold his soul to the devil. And then he had this man who came to him and was like, said something to him, and I can't remember what happened, but that was a beautiful story. He ended up becoming like a Christian singer, and whether you're religious or not, it was a really beautiful story. He ended up getting married and having kids, and he become like this really like nice guy. When he was addicted, even his band, he was addicted to them, and it was just crazy. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not a religious person, even though I'm a Catholic. I wouldn't say I'm like the most religious guy. I do like to believe that there is a heaven in the afterlife, and I do believe that one day when we die, you know, if let's say you've been good, I don't think heaven is literally flying around the clouds as an angel, but I feel like, you know, heaven could be you're reunited with all your family again and your loved ones, and you're just together for eternity in total happiness and peace and harmony. That would be beautiful. No more worrying about like life and taxes and this and that and fucking government stuff and like, you know, that kind of stuff. I feel like it would just be peace. And you're all together and it's just happiness. But then hell is like, I don't know, do I believe that there's like actual fire under the ground right now burning all the souls of the evil people that were once on this earth? I don't know. I definitely believe in ghosts. I definitely believe in demons. But do I believe in like heaven and hell? I really don't know. It's kind of it's still to this day, I don't know. And nobody does. That's the thing. I'm not going to say anybody's religion is, I would never say to you, God doesn't exist, because I don't know for sure. And there's people out there that would say that, like God doesn't exist. God could be anything. It's like looking, I said this in my previous video too, it's like looking into space and saying, what's out there? Like, what's at the other end? Where does it stop? You know? Is there a wall? It's got to end somewhere, right? Like, is there a wall at the end when you reach that wall? But then when you reach that wall, what happens if you were to break through? What's on the other side of the wall? You know, it's endless. We're never going to know. So, I don't know. I mean, I do like to believe that there is a heaven in the afterlife. It does scare me a little bit to think that there could be a hell. I wouldn't say I'm like an atheist. I wouldn't say I'm a non-believer, but I'm definitely a skeptic. And like I said, I'm not that religious. There's a lot of people who are religious, you know, who have different religions, and people have these different perspectives on what is God, what is the afterlife, what is heaven. As for people who are like ghosts and stuff, which I do believe in, I believe those people either are lost, or they didn't know they died, or just simply they didn't want to cross over yet. For example, a husband might die. He's not ready to go over to heaven yet. He's not ready to go into the light. So he lingers around on the earth and maybe watches his wife grow old, watches over her until she grows old. And then when she dies and she leaves her body, he's going to be right there. He'll take her hand. They will both go through the light together. So I feel like that is a possibility. I don't think when you die, even if you're really, really good, you're forced to go into the light. I think people might have the option. They might die and be like, I'm not ready to go yet. Maybe you'll see Jesus with his hand out, welcoming you into the light. And you can just say, I'm not ready yet. I want to wait for my wife. And I don't know, maybe that's how ghosts are here. And of course, there's evil ghosts too, which I think could be people who were evil in real life and they died. Now they're in this realm between heaven and hell. They've been, I guess, judged by God or whatever, and God said, no, you're going to hell. You're not coming to heaven. So it's either stay on the earth and just linger for eternity, completely alone, which could be even more torturous than going to hell, or go to hell. They're your two options. So I feel like a lot of evil spirits could remain on earth because they don't want to go to hell, but then they're also, maybe they're just so frustrated with being trapped in a different dimension on this earth, lingering around. They've seen generations and generations and generations going by, and they're just so alone. Loneliness is enough. Loneliness is more torturous than probably burning, after you've experienced it long enough. Wow, I did not expect, in my other video, it was really short, and I thought, I could get to the point really quickly, but now that I'm, saying it, it could just open up, it branches off into a whole different thing. I could go on about this for hours, probably, but, it's so weird. This is stuff that I think about a lot. Heaven, hell, where do we go when we die? Do we become ghosts? Are we reborn again, reincarnated into somebody else? What, do you die and then become born again as a new baby and then live a new life? Is that what happens? Who knows? But I definitely believe there is something, because, look at us. We're just a big bag of fucking flesh and fat and meat and bones. And what is making us functional? That's where I think something might exist, like a god, for example. Because why aren't we just an inanimate blob of meat and bones and hair and stuff on the fucking ground? You know what I mean? Why aren't we just on the ground as this inanimate, non-mobile piece of just dead meat? Trees don't have a life, right? They grow and stuff, but they don't do anything. They can't move. They can't think for themselves. They can't do anything. They just grow. Just like our meat would grow on the floor, but we have what is called life. We have a soul. We are able to get up and move around. These things in here are inanimate objects. This doll in here doesn't have that life, even though it looks like a human, but it can't get up and walk around. But we can. Why can we? It's weird. Something is able to lift this 200-pound body and make it walk around. How is that? How does that happen? It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. I feel like we have that energy, that soul, that life inside of us. And when we die, that comes out of us, but it's got to go somewhere else, The body dies, but the soul doesn't. So I don't know. I could go on about this for hours, guys, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna end it here. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. But let me know in the comment section, what is your theories on heaven and hell? Let me know. But that is it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I love you all, and remember the most important thing: chase your dreams and keep on fighting. Peace out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my videos and you would like to support me and my channel more and also be featured in my videos, go check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. I would really appreciate any help you guys have to offer. As you can see, we have different tiers, different rewards, so go over there, check it out, and I would really appreciate that. Every little helps. Thank you so much. And also, guys, don't forget to subscribe with the notification bell on, and also follow me on all my social media. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat. So go follow me on all of those, and remember the most important thing: I love you guys, and chase your dreams.